Howdy y'all, Twitchonium here. Today I'm coming at you with another Chromatic Cube draft, so we're gonna hop straight on in and see what kind of bangers we open up today. See y'all there. Here we are in pack 1, pick 1. We have opened up a fair amount of crazy stuff in here. Immediately my eyes are drawn to the Gear Hulk, which is just a nice board wipe on a creature. The Epiphany for extra turns, which I'm kind of tempted to do after I saw some of the nutty stuff the opponents did to me last Chromatic Cube we did. Let's take a look at what the rest of this is, though. I'm not familiar with this guy. Not sure if I'm feeling that. Vivian's great. This seems fine, but not amazing. Atris is always good value. Deputy of Detention is good value. What does this Braids do? Meh. And lastly, this one seems actually pretty good, but I think I'm just going to take the Epiphany here. Just extra turn spells are fun. And we might not even go that route. Yeah, I think the first couple of packs we just take the strongest card. Unless there's some kind of crazy ramp or something. Liliana's just awesome. I'm going to hover her for now. Shatterskull is great for a land, but I think I'd rather take an impactful card over a land for the moment if we can, go that route. We could take Field of the Dead and try to do that, though. That is definitely an option. But it's not my favorite kind of deck to run. I love this Silverback Elder. I am very tempted to take this here. It's one of the stronger cards for sure. We could also take one of these blue cards to stick with the Epiphany, but I'm not that stuck on Epiphany to take it. I think I'd rather just take Liliana. She's got a special place in my heart.
If I were you, I'd just surrender right now.
Listen to her taunting us. All right, now we've got an assassin that's in our colors. Rona could be pretty sweet as a 2-drop. A nice way for us to dig through our deck and turn into a big relevant threat later. Oh, this gets exiled, so we won't be able to use it with Scholar of the Lost Troves. That would be a nasty combo, though, if we could get the Epiphany and then recast it again. So because of that, I think I'm going to take the Rona first here. Actually, you know what? No, I've changed my mind yet again. I was going to take the Scholar because this is less likely to wheel, I think, than the Rona, but I think Rona's just going to do solid stuff in whatever deck she's in. What does multiple choice do? Draw a card, turn a creature, make a token, all of the above. That seems pretty good. This also seems pretty sweet, but don't know that that's for us. Reality Chip also seems pretty great. I think it's definitely got to be one of these two. We could just take like Llanowar Elves, but I think I'd rather have something like this. Although we could also take Feed the Swarm, actually. You know what? I'm kind of on that route, actually, now that I see it here. It's removal in black for a thing. The enchantments are hard to get rid of in black and blue, so having access to this might be nice if we do end up black-blue. Which I would love to play if we can manage it. I mean, become a copy of whatever the best permanent on the board is. Sounds great. Soul Herder. Ooh, that's pretty sweet for a blank deck. And it has Seb McKinnon's just gorgeous, gorgeous art on it. Like, that's a little tempting, but I think we'll stick to the blue card, the mono blue card, I should say. Maybe we'll wheel like a Fetid Pools. If we wheel the Soul Herder, I'm definitely open to splashing white, though. Alright, now we've got Fibble Fip. I mean, it's still a 2-drop that draws you a card on ETB, so it's not the worst. It's definitely one of the weaker cards here. I mean, like, we could just take Cloud Blazer. Oh, that's tough. I think I'd rather take Cloud Blazer. We could also take the Triome. Maybe that's the play. Probably should be. But there will be Cloud Blazer here, and we saw that Soul Herder Tender whatever in the last pack, so I would be very open to splashing white if we see the fixing for it and stuff. This Teferi seems great in a deck that already has one, two, I guess only two ways to draw cards. But I mean, we've seen a lot of card draw stuff, so we can try to make our deck card draw the deck.
I'm finished running from battles I might not win.
Oh, look at these beauties. This is the broken, busted Jin Gitaxias, so we're probably taking that. But this Vraska is very good too. Draw a card and proliferate. You know what, actually? Jin is more likely to wheel, I feel like, because it's such an expensive card too. Vraska is cheaper, does a little bit of everything we want. It's a card draw, removal, win con, all in one. And we already have another Planeswalker that cares about the proliferate, so maybe we go Super Friends.
Flesh is over.
Ooh, that was some cool voice lines there. So now we've got the Spell Dancer, which I think is probably fine. It's not an exciting card, but I don't think we really need Braids in this deck, and the Spell Dancer at least will be a fine filler 2-drop for us. Both of the blue cards wheeled in this pack, which makes me very excited to think that we are in a open color. Black has not felt as strong, but we did see that Vraska pretty late. We'll do the card draw, I think, over the flexible card here. Because it's an 8-drop. I guess this is still a 6-drop. Maybe we would rather have the flexible inscription there. Wow, yeah, and we wield the Scholar. So we'll take all of the instants and sorceries we can find a lot more highly now, I think. In multiple choices, fine. I'd really like both of these, honestly. They both seem pretty solid. Maybe we splash in a Nissa or an Ajani. Probably not happening. Ooh, the Spectral Sailor, though, I'll definitely play. Alright, so Monastery Mentor, not for us. Blood Mage, make a Pest, draw a card, exile a graveyard. I mean, that seems fine. Muldrifter, though, is always good value. It's just always 2 cards. And sometimes it's a flying 2/2 that drew you 2 cards. Could also take Discovery, Dispersal, which is fine but unexciting. It probably should be one of these 3-drops. Or we could even take the Ornithopter just as a way to ramp, but I don't think this deck needs that kind of effect. I think we want to be more controlling if possible. I'm just going to take Muldrifter. I know this is always good. Okay, now we've got some sick options here. Halo Forager, as we know from the most recent sets, this is just a great card. But we also have Sublime Epiphany, which might be one of my favorite Magic cards ever printed. It's a counterspell that also copies a thing and bounces a thing and draws you a card and does everything. There's also Cavalier of Night, which could be pretty sweet. Destroys a thing, then brings a thing back, which I would definitely love. Sorin is also a great card. Make us a 2/3 lifelinker most turns. But when I see Sublime Epiphany in a deck that already has a Scholar of the Lost Trove in it that can recast it again, I am very happy to play a Sublime Epiphany. Well, and we've got another Liliana here, which I think we'll snag. It's either that or Chart a Course, which would also be fine, but all the blue cards wheeled real late last pack, so I'd rather take the strong black cards that synergize with what we're doing.
The living are just so neat.
Okay, now we can take Breach the Multiverse, I think. If we don't take that, we're taking Hard Evidence, which just seems terrible, or Relic of Legends, which this would actually be fine. I think we've got enough legendary permanents already. Or does it say creature? Ah, it says creature. So we really only have, what, 1, Yeah, just the one. So, Breach the Multiverse it is. And it actually works with Planeswalkers too, which is nice because that's pretty much what we're doing here. Uh, 4-drop or... Silumgar's Command is just really flexible. But it is expensive, and our deck is already very expensive. So we should try and take the cheapest things we can, when we can. I would also like C-double, really, but... Yeah, this is tough. Yeah, I guess this is probably fine for us. It's got card draw, it's got removal built into it. Ooh, well, I was going to take Jacob Hauken, but I think we need to take Thief of Sanity. This is just such a House of O card. If you play this on turn 3 and start casting the opponent's stuff, they really feel it quickly. Null Priest would also be excellent, but I don't think anybody's going to pass up a Thief of Sanity and let that wheel, so we'll just snag it while we can. And Graven Archfiend here, I had this played against me a draft or two ago, and it did more than I was expecting it to. The 4/5 flyer body size was just way more relevant than expected, just even by itself without all the rest of the text. Wow. Nightmare Shepherd, excellent. Valkyrie, excellent. Ophiomancer, maybe not as excellent, but it turns a lot of things on, a lot of strategies on that, like with the sack outlets and stuff. But we don't really have that many sack outlets. That, to be fair, I'm gonna take the Eradicator Valkyrie. Well, we got the Blood Mage back, which is a nice 3-drop for this deck. Wow, maybe black-blue just in general is open. So it's Sorin or the Cavalier. I think I like Sorin better just because we're doing the... kind of already doing the Planeswalker thing. No Cavalier might be stronger in a vacuum, but we'll just stick to our thing. Well, this is a Nombo for us, unfortunately, so we're going to take this just so nobody else can play it, because I'm not going to run a hard evidence, I don't think, in a deck like this. Niv Mizzet's fun. Actually, you know what? No, I would rather not play against Niv Mizzet. If somebody drops us a Kama, you're losing anyways, but if somebody drops a Niv Mizzet, you still have a chance, so we'll take that. Maybe I said that backwards. Hopefully y'all know what I mean. But some really powerful stuff in this deck so far. Wow, and another 2-drop. Just excellent. We are missing a little bit of removal. Most of our removal's tied up to either creatures or planeswalkers, so I'd like some just straight up removal if we could, but if not, it's not the end of the world. Oath of Kaya would be sweet with all these planeswalkers, but I think we need to take one of these black or blue cards. Nah. I think I'd rather just have Gear Hulk that I know is always going to be a 2-for-1 and a stabilization piece. Gale's Redirection would be fine. Oop, but no, I think I'd rather just have a Gear Hulk. Alright, a bunch of options. Now I'm leaning towards Murderous Rider already because it's removal and a creature, but you can just cast it as straight removal when you need to, which is just nice. This is also removal, but this one feels eh. Hidetsugu, huh? Sack a creature? Yeah, no, we're not doing the sack creature thing. So yeah, we'll take this, and maybe we can wheel to settle the score. Because I would love this kind of removal too, especially with all of our planeswalkers, but this is cheaper, more flexible, can do more things, you can reuse it over and over, sort of. Wow, we got a 3rd Liliana. This is one of the weaker ones, I think, but she is a 3-drop, which lets us get her out earlier, and she makes the opponent sack creatures, which I think is pretty great. Wouldn't mind a Lutri. This would be pretty cool too for us, but I think
No
we
more
can't pass up on the
distractions. Let's make this quick.
perfect curve fitting planeswalker there. So this could be a 2-drop for us a lot of the time. Seems fine. Actually, I'm going to take the scriptures. Having access to a board wipe seems pretty great. Now we can take Drown and Ichor for some more removal that also proliferates all of our planeswalkers. I would love Karuga in this deck too. But I think Drown and Ichor is more what we need. We've already got just a boatload of expensive things to do. So this is a nice 2-drop that's also removal, which we're lacking a little bit. Already looking at Gonti here, just he catches my eye pretty quickly. Always going to be a 2-for-1. This one seems not great for us. Into the Royal is also an excellent card. It's just, again, also a 2-for-1. You're bouncing a thing and drawing a card. In fact, because we have so many creatures already, I'm just going to go with the End of the Royal, get some more interaction for early game. Now, Black Market Connections is just a nutty card. You can do whatever you need it to do. It ramps you, draws you cards, or makes you a token each turn. I'd love a Great Shark, to be fair, but I think at 3 mana, this is what we need. We need to lower our curve as much as we can with powerful plays. It's definitely Broodlord or the Watery Grave here. It should probably be Watery Grave, but I am tempted. Yeah, it should be Watery Grave. We have so much big stuff already. This is a great card, but we'll just take the Watery Grave. Make sure we can cast our spells. Yeah, we'll take this Desecrator guy now, I suppose. Probably not play him. Counter spell, make X treasure tokens. That seems pretty great. Yeah, we don't need this Cataract's land. Yeah, we might dismiss in this deck. And now we'll start taking the cards we don't want to see in opponents' decks. Unless we come across something crazy here at the end, but I'm really liking where we're at. This is ideally a 5-drop. But we ended up getting there on our early plays. A lot of them are interaction and not actually creatures to impact the board, but that's fine. I'm pretty sure this deck is going to be more like pass, say go, or stick down Planeswalker. Take another counterspell. Ooh, this card just wrecked me last game. I'm going to take it just so it's not in anybody else's deck. For those that are unaware, it's basically cast the top card of your opponent's or your library. You know, the best of those two that they picked every single one of your turns for free. Alright. Need to cut 11. Breach I really like, but not the most exciting. Scholar as well I like, but we don't have that many instants and sorceries. Take an extra turn I like. It also gives us something else to do on turn 2. We can foretell it, which is pretty nice. Vraska's staying, Gearhulk's staying, Liliana's staying, Sublime Epiphany's staying, this Liliana's staying. I think the Archfiend can go now. We got better stuff. Teferi is staying. Yep, those are all staying. This one's a maybe. I like the Metamorph. I like the counterspells. This one's good, but not amazing. But I do like it still. Henrika I'm less excited about. I do like having access to the board wipe and scriptures. Oh, this can go. Soren's fine, but one of our weaker planeswalkers, I think. Although his ultimate's only -7, so that's something to consider. Yes, I like all of the 3 drops. Really excellent, and we're not cutting anything lower. So yeah, let's cut all of these and see where that puts us at. Still have to make 4 cuts. We don't have a lot of creatures in this deck, but we have a lot of planeswalkers. So we can probably cut some creatures. Maybe we cut the Metamorph. I mean, it is 3 mana, best make a copy of the best thing on the board, though, which is just such a nice effect. I could see cutting the Blood Mage. Not necessarily what this deck needs to do. Maybe we cut multiple choice. The Sailor's a little weak. Then we have to cut one more. Maybe we cut the Denial. Counterspell, I like Dismiss and Spell Swindle both better. Put our cards back together. Yeah, this curve looks better than it did before. Still not a... It's still a very heavy, you know, top-end deck, but I think I like this. We'll make this Liliana our leader. You know what? We've got 3 Lilianas, so let's let Vraska lead the helm the way. Plus, I really like the art on this completed Vraska. And I'll see y'all in the matches. Welcome to round 1. We're on the play with a nice, slow, controlling hand, which is what we're trying to do in this deck. So we'll hang on to it and see how it goes. I'm not sure how this format's really going to play. I've only drafted it once so far, so this might be too slow of a deck, but if we can jam down some of these planeswalkers and get going, it's going to be a fun time. And I gotta remember this is a sorcery, not an instant. It's an excellent draw for us. Just make them sack a creature real quick.
Sacrifices must be
The
made.
next turn we'll make them discard a card. And we'll discard... I think the Scriptures, actually. And we missed our land, which is a pretty huge deal here. Because we were really just one land away from Metamorph and Scriptures and stuff. I mean, now we're ditching the Scriptures, but still. We could kill this enchantment. What else does it do? They can get back Fibblethip and then flip it. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Let's just do this. Especially since it's one of the cheaper enchantments, so we're not taking as much damage from the Feed the Swarm. Ah, well, they're gonna exile our Liliana. That's a shame.
Delay, nothing more.
As is that, but we will pay the 2 life so we can make a copy of their apparition. And we really just need to hit one more land for this Liliana. Ooh, Murderous Rider's a nice card to hold up while we wait to hit our lands. The little companion for the card draw. Seems like the opponent went the enchantment deck route, potentially. The blue-white enchantments, of all things. Yikes, still no lands. Alright, well, we'll keep swinging here. And see if we need to destroy something with our rider. Okay, that one will definitely need to die. We'll eat our 1. And I'm just going to go ahead and destroy this now before it can get going. They probably got a counterspell. Yeah. Had to try. Yeah, that's going to be a problem quickly. Do we have anything to get back? Not really. So we make a 2/2 zombie with her, which is all, or we hold up Spell Swindle. I think I like just holding up Spell Swindle. And if they cast an expensive enough spell, we just get a boatload of treasures. I mean, they're very likely to have another counterspell themselves, though. We'll let them have Illyrios. See if they play another card. No. No, we should have countered Illyrios. Well, now we can blow up the Soul Herder and get back on track here. Oh, they got another counterspell. Yep. Okay, that's actually really bad now. Yeah. Extremely bad. I should have spell swindled the Illyrios. We would have been... I guess if we had, they would have Great Sharked then. But then we would have been able to Gear Hulk. Yeah, that was the correct play. I think we take the damage here and hope we're able to do something about it with their few dudes. I'm guessing Illyrios again. Yeah. Maybe the Spirited Companion. This person probably drafted that Soul Herder we passed up earlier. Yeah, this is not enough. So we can make a copy of an apparition and eat one of their creatures. Like, probably has to be Soul Herder. Bounce a token. Draw a card. I mean, I'm going to do it. Alright, so turn non-land permanent. Create a token that's a copy of a creature. Target player draws a card. Yeah, we'll just concede now. That's another thing about Cube. There's a lot more counterspells going around, which, I mean, obviously I'm playing a couple myself, but counterspell the deck is not my favorite strategy to do. It's just really not a fun thing to play against, but you take those licks and move along. See y'all in the next round. Welcome back. We're on the draw here, and we have another slow hand, but I think we keep it. Probably going to be regretting this this keep, but we'll see. The opponent did just have to mulligan down, so that's something at least. Actually, we'll stick with the swamps here. The two swamps first. Unless we draw something that needs an island. Ooh, interesting. Let's go ahead and drown that in Ichor before they can use it to ramp. Because I'm hoping they kept this hand knowing they had ramp on a creature and that they were banking on it. Alright, Essica. We will go ahead and just pop her now, because that's more ramp that they were potentially expecting, and now they don't have access to. And then next turn, thankfully we drew a Valkyrie, which is just excellent. Spawning pool, nice and slow, not worried about that quite yet. But Valkyrie, if they don't deal with it, is going to be a big problem for them. They can sack that thing they just played now to seek a creature, which is kind of cool. Ooh, Augur of Autumn's an excellent card. Now they can play lands from the top, but, I mean, they don't need more lands. That's not what they're hurting for. We would love a land. Wouldn't mind getting down a Vraska or a Liliana. Well, ask and you shall receive, because we'll just get a different Liliana and make them discard that last card in their hand.
Something suspicious is going on. And for once, it's not my fault.
Sure. I think I'm just going to discard the Spell Swindle. I'd rather be playing down these big Planeswalkers on this board state. Even if they want to attack Liliana, they're not killing her. Probably have to sack their Augur just to see what they draw here. Or what they can hit. Should definitely attack first, yep.
You chose the wrong day to cross me.
And a Beast Whisper, which is a great card, but not going to quite do it. I did not need to do that, but that's okay.
Be broken. We know nothing of Phyrexia's.
But we'll just do that and start proliferating. Maybe we get to our ultimate here. Not that we really need it at this point. I should have just made him sack the creature. Now they get to draw a couple of cards. Yep. But we've got Teferi now, which Teferi plus Vraska is a 2/2 that grows every single turn. We can still sack creatures to, or make them sack creatures with Liliana. And if we get one more, we're going to jam down the even better Liliana. I guess they didn't have anything bigger than Karuga in their deck there, which is a shame. So now we'll make our token,
Doesn't mean we have to be overly
draw our
serious.
card, proliferate all the things. Make them sack a creature.
One of your friends has to
And
leave.
swing again. Super Friends in Dimir. Tatio, I mean the opponent has some really strong cards. They just got off on a slow start with all those lands and stuff. Having to mulligan. Let's just draw some cards and make this lethal for him now.
I am here to learn.
Yep, there they go. That'll do it. This is what I was hoping this deck was going to be able to do. Control with the Planeswalkers. See y'all in the next round. Welcome back. We are on the play, and I'm not sure about this one. I think I'm still going to keep it. Even though we don't have any blue for our Epiphany. Everything else we can work towards here. And Rider into Valkyrie looks pretty sweet. If we can hit one more land, we'll be great. And I don't mind Fibblethip for a minute or two. We'll see how it works. What they play. Is this Yorion? It's always Yorion. Alright. Played the Clock, which is a great ramp piece for them. But we'll jam down our Valkyrie and hope they can't kill it. And of course they can kill it and have a hasty creature that makes a treasure. Which we're gonna have to kill her. I mean they already got the value, but still. Should have waited and done this on their turn so we could hold up Spell Swindle as well. That's alright. They're not casting crazy expensive things yet, and I'd rather use this on like a Yorion anyways, so it's probably fine. Although I guess we do still have Sublime Epiphany for that. Brawling Kari Zev. Okay. I think we eat Brawl first. We're really going to be hurting on life here, though. I'd rather kick the into the Royal anyways, so we're just going to go ahead and ride her for now. Get some lifelink. And we lose. Thankfully this doesn't say creatures, so if we do draw a land, we can kill it with Gear Hulk. That's thankfully nice. Oh, it's an artifact creature, so we don't... Yeah, I'm gonna concede now. It's my own fault, but I mean, what else were we gonna do there? I guess we could have epiphanied the Jin Gitaxias to copy theirs, but then that would have gotten countered anyways. Like, that Jin is just hard to beat if you get to cast it, so rough. See you all in the next one. We're back on the draw again. This is probably fine in this deck, but given how strong and quickly some of these other decks are getting started, I'm going to mulligan this and hope we can get something a little quicker. Yeah, this seems quicker. I'll ditch the scriptures. At least the Mole Drifter can draw us into more cards. Not a huge fan of this guy in hindsight. I should have read this more closely. Alright, and they've got Sorin as well.
Out of my way. I have a way to stop.
Ooh, they lose 5 lives. What does
You wish to know my
Gix do?
secrets? Very well.
Alright, so we need to get rid of our Planeswalkers. I mean, I guess that means we're going to lose Liliana here. Or, sorry, Vraska, not Liliana. Let's Mole Drifter. Yikes. Yeah. Gonna have to be banking on this Valkyrie to do a lot of work, but wow. They get the Shieldred, we lose our guy. Yep. Nope. Not looking great. Well, that's thankfully an excellent draw for us here on this board.
This is my home, and I don't appreciate it. Haven't you ever heard?
They can
of
still do
personal
the
space?
Cruelty of Gix now, which is going to be terrible for us, but I mean, what do you do? It's a cube. Ah, they're not Gixing now, so we will get to cast Vraska and we'll lose our Valkyrie, which I think I'd rather do that, to be honest. And I mean, at this point, they're just hurting themselves, so...
Nothing on Innistrad is free.
Of course, they can ult Sorin now, which just means we almost die right away. Okay, so we play the Valkyrie... or the Vraska. I think I'm going to play the Vraska. It's hard to tell. The lifelink here might be relevant, but this Sorin is going to eat us alive right now. Let's make him discard some stuff.
I'm tired of your secrets.
Enters the battlefield. Let's draw a card. I guess I'd rather get the lands out of our deck. How many does that put us at now? 1, 2, 3, 6, 8. 8 out of 17.
Know that I will not abandon my quest. I am the rightful Lord of Innistrad. Feel my wrath.
Oh, we're just dead. Because Wow. This is on me for forgetting Reckoner Bankbuster is also a vehicle. I just always think of this as just a card draw artifact, but I suppose it is also a vehicle you can crew. So, once again, another disappointing showing in this cube. Feel like our... maybe I'm expecting a little too slow of a format, potentially, when I'm drafting these, and I need to really be taking cheaper plays more highly. Because, like, the cards we had in this deck, like, I'm not even going to go over all of them, because it's a cube. They're all bombs. I mean, Epiphany's a bomb, Liliana's, or, you know, just every single card we picked was top tier, cream of the crop, something you'd love to include in almost any deck. Let's take a look at what we didn't ever draw or get to use. We never draw Rona. I mean, or that I cared about drawing that we didn't get, I should say. Never got Black Market Connections. This is one of my favorite new cards from recent sets, and didn't get to even draw that one. Thief of Sanity we technically drew there at the very, very end, but it was too late at that point. Never got to cast it. Metamorph never drew. The Valkyrie we drew every game. Spell Swindle we drew every game. We did get to cast every one of our Planeswalkers, so that's pretty cool. But overall, still a really fun deck. Epiphany is the other card we never got to play. Never got to take our extra turns. Didn't even draw this one. But still fun, and I appreciate you all coming along on this ride with me here. I'll see y'all in the next video. Take care, everybody.